Little disclaimer before we start, if you don't want to see any Sims 5 spoilers, then this video is not for you. Because today we're going to be breaking down the Sims 5 spoilers that I've been able to find online. We're going to go full investigation mode and break everything down and really see if we can determine what the Sims 5 is like so far. So about 2 months ago, the Sims community did the Sims Summit, which was an online live stream where they talked us through the roadmap for the next couple of years, actually. They announced so many things. They announced the generations. They did the new mod platform, which custom content and modders will be able to upload all of their mods to for an easy mod management. And very exciting, they announced Project Renee, which is the next installment of The Sims. So we can only assume it will be The Sims 5. This is what we were kind of teased. We were teased the color wheel, which is underneath my camera right now. You can see all of the patterns. We were teased some of the building mechanisms. There is also hints at the multiplayer. Let me just pause this actually. In the top left here, you can actually see there's an icon with a multiplayer and then a 0. However, in some of the video clips, there is multiple players building at once. I actually have a full video breaking down what we knew about The Sims 5 Project Renee following the Sims Summit. So if you want to go and see that, I'll link it down below, but that's all confirmed. This is what we were able to kind of deduce from the live Sim Summit. However, super interesting developments have started to happen over on Twitter. So there have been countless of Sims 5 pop-up accounts that come up made anonymously with some anonymous sneak previews of The Sims 5. So we cannot verify if they are true or not. The only people who can verify it are the EA teams, and obviously they haven't done that yet. So we don't know if they're true or not, but I think we'll be able to take a look at them and compare the footage to what we're looking at right now, which is confirmed from the EA team. Actually, before we get started, I just want to say that I was sent this Sims feed on Reddit talking about the off-screen pictures of a playtest for The Sims 5, which is where a lot of these leaks are supposedly coming from, the playtest community. However, sorry this post was removed by Reddit's legal operations team. This content was removed in response to a copyright claim by a third party. So I guess we can assume that they are starting to buckle down on the announcements and teasers and leaks and Twitter accounts and YouTube videos that are currently being uploaded. However, I do actually have access to these photos via a Google Drive where someone saved the photos to. So let's break it down and let's go through them. Okay, at first glance, this is actually looking very similar to that screenshot that we were seeing in the Sims Summit. Ooh, it is! Okay, look, you have a divider here, and then in front of it, you have the yellow vase. And if I go back to the Sims Summit, you have a divider up here and the yellow vase in front with a white armchair and another smaller plant. White armchair, another smaller plant. Okay, so we're going into this pretty confident. Something which I am seeing are the fairy lights at the back here, which we didn't have before. What else do we have? Lots of plants on like the stands, which I think we only have 1 or 2 of currently in The Sims 4, so it's interesting that there's 4 different plants here with stands. Everything looks a little disproportionate. That was just another one of my takeaways actually from Project Renee sneak previews, is that everything looks slightly off in terms of proportions. But again, this is super early in development, so how it looks now is definitely not going to be how it looks when it's actually launched. That is something that we can be confident about. Oh wow, this is so cool. Okay, so we have clutter down here. We have cans, books, some of them are open and closed. We have lots of books stacked on top of this shelf here, and then lots of random things on the floor. These 2 here, which is interesting. Some of these items are looking a little similar to The Sims 4, which is not surprising because I can imagine they use some of it when they are playtesting, like this cart here, and also this print. I'm pretty sure we have that in The Sims 4. Okay, so this is the build catalog overview, or the build by catalog, which is more than likely going to change. If you had a look at The Sims 4 leak before it came out, the UI looks completely different. So we can assume that it will be different for The Sims 5 as well on launch. Oh my god, I love that there's 2 categories. So you have a discovering with most recent and trending, which is not something we've ever had before in The Sims 4. So that's really interesting. Okay, so then we have 3 icons over here. This is the top one, which is, I guess, when you're connected online. This is the build, and then this is the buy. Then we have an overview of the world map, which is actually not something we were shown at the Sims Summit. And it's looking like very European, Parisian inspired. board. Really, really beautiful. In fact, quite impressive how we already have a decent amount of detail. I really like the way that it's looking so far. It's very refreshing and not like any of the worlds that we currently have in The Sims 4. So interested to see where that goes. Oh my god, this is cool. Furniture design. So you have an item here called the Scandinavian cabinet, and then it says every piece of furniture can be customized. Use the workshop to change size, colors, parts, materials, and patterns, which is an even more detailed, customized version of the color wheel from The Sims 3. Then place accents to make the piece more special. And we were actually already seeing that accents option from The Sims Summit, which is things like pillows and clutter. Then you can share your creations to inspire other players, which was also something we actually saw at The Sims Summit, that you can multi-select different objects and upload them directly online to some kind of library, which other players can download. So instead of rooms or whole lots, you can download custom furniture sets. Okay, so that's what we have from this Reddit thread. From Central Simmer ML on Twitter has actually been able to find more close-up shots of the Sims 5 world and a little preview of maybe what the cars are looking like so far. So I think this is following the same kind of floor plan as what we were, or world map overview of from what we've just seen from Reddit. But look at what I mean of how detailed the world map is already. We have bus stops, lamps, flowers, there's tables and chairs back there. I love this. So detailed already. Posters, we have some display cabinets, a lot more flowers and potted plants again. Super nice. And actually, I am quite impressed with how the cars are looking. There's a lot more detail on these cars than what we have in The Sims 4. But we don't actually know if these cars work, if they function in the same way they did in The Sims 3. None of that has been confirmed yet. Ooh, here's another one. I love the color of this car, and super interesting that we have a parking ticket. This could be clutter, this could be just an unplayable object, but I like the detail. Here is another view of the world map, and again, it's feeling very European. This is the same cars and the same road mappings that we were looking at before. We have the area over here, I think, with the flower pots that we were looking at. And on the previous picture here is a breakdown of what it would look like to view the apartment within the world map. So this is kind of feeling like the Sims 3 open world or open neighborhood concept, which is something I'm super hopeful for. I'm not fussed about open world. I would love an open neighborhood though. So the idea that you can just explore the city that you're living in, your little town, and you can just freely roam about instead of having loading scenes if you want to come from here, for example, just to go over here. So these are the Sims 5 spoilers that I've been able to find so far. Another little disclaimer though, that this is all just for fun. I'm pretty confident that what we're seeing now is not going to be anything like what The Sims 5 will look like when it actually is launched in several years in the future, because that's just the nature of game development from what I understand. It's a whole process. There's a lot of different stages involved. And if you want to avoid the spoilers, then probably avoid Twitter, or at least find a way to block the terms The Sims 5, because there is a lot of it over there. But if it is something that you're interested in, let me know and I can do several more of these Sims 5 updates videos as we get closer to the actual Sims 5 launch. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you found that interesting. Let me know down below what you think of The Sims 5 and what you were hopeful for, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!